This is Shamrock Energy coming at you live as I can be. Celebrate my 25th subscriber. Oh boy, we gonna get a sponsorship from Blue Chew here any minute now. Here are a couple things, all right? There are pros and cons to this episode. Pros. You're getting me right now, raw, unadulterated. I didn't listen to any other podcasts. These are just my opinions. Straight up from me. Someone that has followed the game for a long time, someone that played the game for a long time. I'm going to give you my opinion, and it's going to be raw, uncut. The cons. I may have hit the sauce a little hard. Okay? I may have hit it a little bit too hard. Whatever. We're going to see how that goes. Okay? If this episode sucks, we'll figure it out. But, Saturdays are for the boys. And the boys had a Saturday. So, anyways, let's talk about it. Weird vibes all around. I don't even really know where to begin, but we're not going to start with the offense. I'm going to leave that for later because I need a minute to collect my thoughts. The defense did what they did, right? My prediction for this game was, just full transparency, my prediction for this game was 52-6, and it didn't come close. It was 28-3. Notre Dame's defense does what it does. It didn't look particularly amazing by any means. And I think that we're starting to get a little bit spoiled, to be completely honest with you as a Notre Dame fan. They did exactly what they were supposed to do. Oh my God. They let up some pretty big runs against Miami of Ohio. Yeah, they did. Yeah. I mean, did you not listen to Al Golden's press conference at the beginning of this year? Not that I'm going to read that much into a press conference, but I mean, Jesus Christ, guys, follow the fucking breadcrumbs. Yeah? He said, I am not concerned with being the best run defense in the country. Not at all concerned with that. Why do you think that he said that? It's for games like this. This is the type of game that Notre Dame's defense just excels in. You do not want to be a Miami of Ohio on offense against Notre Dame's defense, where really, to be completely honest with you, you are left with no choice but to drop back and pass. Now, I understand that they found some success through the run game, but it was kind of like fake success. They got cut through. It wasn't fair. It didn't look right. What the hell? No, man. Listen, they were in nickel the entire time. You could see it clear as day. Now, here are some things that I actually do notice that I do think need to get addressed. Riley Mills. We'll get into Riley Leonard. Riley Mills, Howard Cross, they don't play with the level of fire that you'd want them to. I thought that, and by the way, guys, I haven't looked back at film. These are just knee-jerk reactions, right? I'm jerking my knee right now. So I thought that Howard Cross played well. I mean, I thought he played solid. He had his sack. Got a sack today. That was nice. It was good to see. I think that in general, the defensive line isn't playing as aggressive as what they did in week 5 or 6 and on throughout last season. I've noticed that they're not playing with the same fire. They're not playing with the same energy. It's a little concerning on the interior. However, I have to say Boubacar Traore, he continues to show up and show out. No doubt about it. What do you guys think about the lighting, by the way? I decided to keep it casual. Keep it intimate between you and me. So I felt as though Boubacar Traore played phenomenally today. I really, really did. And these are all, again, everything that I'm about to say is knee-jerk reactions. I'm definitely planning on releasing a video tomorrow, breaking it down again and just like a kind of upon further review, what are our opinions. But just after, like, just watching the game live, I felt like Boubacar Traore stood out in a pretty significant way. I think that Boubacar Traore is just one of the most impressive players on the defensive line. I really, really do. And I also have to say that Junior Tuihalamaka looked impressive today. I was surprised at how he stood out. Now, I agree. If you were to come at me and say he might have overdone his moves, might have gone out the alley a couple times, you would be correct. However, it's kind of funny how he found himself around the ball today, interception. And I kind of noticed him pop off the tape a little bit more than what I expected. Like he was fun to watch today, and that's someone that I want to continue to see out there. Did not expect to see what I saw. To be completely honest with you guys, Junior Tuihalamaka to me is just kind of like a bonus. I didn't expect him to look the way that he did today. Did you all feel that way or no? Am I the only one? We are so off kilter right now. I'm sorry. We are so off kilter. We'll try and figure this out. It just is what it is. Impressive performance by him. RJ Oben continues to disappoint. I think, and we'll get into high-level thoughts on the offense here soon, but I think with RJ Oben, he just is what he is, and that's really disappointing. I don't want to make any broad sweeping conclusions before watching the film again, but I wasn't thrilled with what I saw from him. He is a guy that, to be frank, has disappointed me tremendously. I can't be alone in this, and I know I'm not. I think the coaching staff thought that they were going to get someone that was going to be like a Javonte John Baptiste, maybe even a step above that, and to be completely honest, he's like 3 steps below that. Really unimpressive. Doesn't look physically imposing. Just things that stand out to me on film. He doesn't look physically imposing at all. When running backs are near him, they run right through him. It's a 5-yard gain. RJ Oben is very, very unimpressive to watch. Now, I could go back and watch the film and come away with a different conclusion tomorrow. And that might be something that I do. I hope that episode 11, I come to you guys and I say, hey, listen, he was better than what I expected. I saw him make 1 tackle of significance, and then the rest, it was kind of unimpressive. I hope I'm wrong. I hope I'm wrong. These are all, again, knee-jerk reactions. Anyways. That was a thing. And I also noticed that for a while, Drake Bowen and Jack Kaiser weren't really popping out. Like, they weren't popping off on film. They stood out on film for the wrong reasons, just from what I remember in that game. And then I remember Jay Nosberry and Kingston Viliamasa standing out for different reasons, for good reasons. And Jalen Sneed standing out for good reasons. This isn't me calling to say, hey, bench Drake Bowen, bench Jack Kaiser. I think that they all have their place. These are just things that need to be addressed, right? And Drake Bowen definitely popped out towards the end. So that was impressive. Christian Gray still kind of struggles with the whole pick six concept. Any minute now, he'll have one, but just squeeze the ball, take it, go to the house. Every time the opportunity is there, he seems to struggle with that. However, he did, I believe, have his first interception of the season. Not of his career. He had one against Pittsburgh last year. Impressive player. The secondary remains impressive across the board. Don Schuler with a very boneheaded play. One of the just dumbest things that you could do. Notre Dame staff gambles on the whole timeout thing. The analytics guy is back. What the fuck? I hate it as much as you guys do. Analytics guy is back. He is back in the screen. And I gotta tell you something. The guy knows what he's talking about. They gambled. They had 3 timeouts. I believe 3 timeouts left. And Don Schuler does what he does. He's a very good player. And then he throws the football to the sideline. I thought it was a ticky-tacky call, but still, why leave it up to refs' judgment? That was the most pissed off that I've seen Marcus Freeman on TV copy. On TV copy, that's the most pissed off that I've seen Marcus Freeman. So that's something there. I mean, dude, he had to literally cover his mouth up. You just wonder what was said. But then, I mean, even before that, I mean, he was furious. I have not seen that from Marcus Freeman on TV copy. That was really, really bad by Don Schuler. He needs to be better than that. So defense is what it is, guys. Like they allowed 3 points, and we can bitch and moan about they gave up running yards against a team that doesn't run the ball well. Yeah, but they also allowed 3 points. They forced multiple turnovers. I don't have the stats in front of me, but I have a feeling that they forced more than 1, right? So it is what it is. I mean, that defense is carrying the water of this team. And this is the one thing that I didn't want. I did not want this defense to have to carry the water of this team, but they did that today. Mind you, Miami of Ohio has scored now, through 3 games, 25 total points. Whose offense is struggling. So I'm not coming out of this being like we're world beaters. I don't think Notre Dame has faced an offense. Well, no, I don't think. I know. Notre Dame has not faced an offense yet that's a juggernaut. They haven't faced an offense that is going to really, truly test you. But they've kind of rise to the occasion. They've risen to the occasion each and every time that they've been asked to do so. In certain moments where it gets a little weird, which it was weird, a lot of today, we'll get into that, the defense does what they do. And their playmakers step up. Christian Gray, Benjamin Morrison, Don Schuler, Xavier Watts. They do what they do. They step up. So that was good. However, on offense, and this is not a conversation that I wanted to have today. What I wanted, guys, is I wanted to come away with this game, or excuse me, come away from this game and say, I know who this team is. One way or another, come hell or high water, I know exactly who this team is. No. Because a large part of that hinges on the offense. And today, we were granted no such answers. It was really, really weird. Riley Leonard, this offense gives me such 2017 vibes. Really, really weird. I mean, just Riley Leonard gives me Brandon Wimbush vibes, and that's not good. This offensive line is not 2017 levels. They're not at that standard. Like, I mean, look, 2015, 2017, like those are the standards. And 2015 is above 2017. I don't care what anybody says. And that's not this offensive line at all. They're not there. Not there at all. The right side played better today. The left side struggled, from what I saw. Anthony Knapp continues to struggle, but at any rate, you saw, and I'm watching Oklahoma struggle offensively against Tennessee, and the thing is about Tennessee is their defense is a lot better than what people thought that they were. I think everybody's defense looks a lot better than what they expect going into the season, and I don't see an offense right now that's clicking on all cylinders. I mean, Oklahoma, I'm watching right now, they just benched Jackson Arnold. And it really hasn't gotten that much better. Anyways, I'm just saying, like, there's a lot of people out there that are like, what the fuck? That's our guy? We'll get into it. Don't worry, we'll get into it. And I'm going to talk about it tomorrow, too. I'm not shying away from the subject here. I mean, here's the deal, though. On offense, Riley Leonard looked lost again. The throws that he missed were frustrating, to say the least. It felt as though in the beginning of this game, and I think even in the second half of this game, and I think it's going to linger on, I think the receivers and tight ends at Notre Dame are getting frustrated. This was really, really bad. He missed some really easy throws today. Throws that you and I can make, he wasn't making. And this is a mental thing. So that's something. And then you go into the drive after that and you go, this is his last drive. And he doesn't really get a fair shot. You know, I mean, you gotta hand the ball off. You're pinned it back at the 6-yard line because of a terrible holding call. Wasn't a good holding call. No for me. And you're like, okay, all right, he's got one more, and then he hits a bomb to Bo Collins. He starts to find his rhythm a little bit. And I think that this is gonna, I hate to say it, this is gonna be the Riley Leonard era where we are forced to look at Riley Leonard and be like, this is it. This is his last drive, and then he's going to kind of come through. And then just so enigmatic. It's perfect. It's a microcosm of Marcus Freeman and his teams. That's what Riley Leonard is. It's, now this is it. This is it. And then they come through. And that's Riley Leonard right now. And it's really weird to watch. I don't feel confident in it whatsoever, but I mean, this is just what I saw. I saw a quarterback that found a little bit more rhythm today than what he had last week. Okay, let's just call it for what it is. Just hang with me. I'm probably wrong. I understand that. I will freely and fully admit that tomorrow. But right now, these are just my opinions. I think Riley looked a little bit more confident this week. I thought it, not in the beginning. In the beginning, it looked really, really bad. But then he started to find himself a little bit. He started to hit throws that we haven't seen him hit all season. That's something, right? He hits his bomb. He gets his first touchdown pass. The monkeys off the back. We don't have to talk about it anymore. That's good. Those are good things. There were good things in there. Didn't turn the ball over through the air until he fumbled it. And that was an inexcusable turnover. Absolutely inexcusable. really pissed me off. Almost as much as the Don Schuler's penalty pissed me off. Like that it's like equal parts. The ball is in your hands every single play, and you don't have the reverence and the respect to protect it. Come on, baby. That's wild to me. He took shots. We saw multiple receivers get involved. Chris Mitchell. We saw no Jordan Faison. We saw a little bit Jaden Greathouse. We saw a little bit Mitch Evans. Cooper Flanagan, we almost saw until he fucked that throw up. And you watch this game and you're watching Riley Leonard and you're like, okay, we're almost there, but we're not there. We're not there at all. I thought that this game was going to be the day that we all felt as though we would find some answers on who we were as a team. And I don't feel that way at all. I come away from this game very weirdly defeated. I have a weird feeling in my gut. I look at this Louisville game as like a fucking nightmare. I don't like it at all. I find myself frustrated. Very frustrated. I find myself frustrated at the fact that I look at the TV copy when I'm watching Riley Leonard and the TV goes to him, and he looks the same as every other quarterback that's played Notre Dame over the last 7 to 10 years. He looks deer in the headlights. He scurries away out of the pocket. He runs away from pressure. Maybe he'll get a first down. Maybe he won't. He can't make his reads. He looks uncomfortable. And that sucks. That sucks. Why do I have to continue to be subjected to this shit? I don't know. Why do we have to continue to be subjected to this shit? I don't know. I wish I had an answer. These are all knee-jerk reactions. I wish I had a nuanced take on it. I'll tell you this much. I bet Marcus Freeman feels the same way. Like, what the fuck? I have a good feeling why. And it goes back to what I talked about on week 2. But it is what it is. What I wanted to come away from this game was, I wanted to come away and say, we are what we are. If it went bad, I'd be like, listen, like, this is just who we are. Fuck it. We'll win a bunch of games. We'll get into the playoffs. We'll get into maybe even like the second round of playoffs, to be honest with you, because we're just that talented and our defense is that good. And I don't feel that way. I don't feel that way. I feel as though there's a lot left on the table right now. I feel as though Riley Leonard is really still trying to find himself. I feel like his confidence maybe took a knock this week, even after hitting a bomb to Bo Collins. I feel like this offense is really not bought in on the whole Riley Leonard experiment. That's how I feel. I feel like this offense is fucking over it. I feel like Notre Dame and this program is so done with the rental quarterback era. And I can't blame them. I mean, don't you feel that way? I mean, I think we're all over it. But at the end of the day, like, he's the best chance right now besides Kenny Minchie. And they're not going to play Kenny Minchie. And we all know it. The team knows it. And so when that happened, and by the way, y'all saw Steve Angeli today. Guess what? He was missing the same throws. He was missing the same fucking throws that Riley Leonard was. It ain't going to change. I fucking told you. I hate to be that guy, but I did. Y'all want to fucking talk about Steve Angeli and how he throws dimes. Sure, fair enough. But saw him miss some pretty easy fucking throws today. Same throws that Riley Leonard was missing. And he doesn't have the freaking mobility that Riley Leonard has. It's very obvious. You know, it's just a weird spot to be in. And oh my God. Oklahoma is like not messing around right now. 2:50 left. The game's over. Sorry. The game's really over, but I like that new quarterback that they got in there. Anyways, Speaking of quarterback issues, what I'll say also is I do respect Marcus Freeman. I respect Mike Denbrock for standing by Riley throughout this game. It would have been an easy move to use him as a scapegoat and pull Steve Angeli, and that would have been the easy move. And to be honest with you, Brian Kelly would have done that. Brian Kelly would have done that in a heartbeat. I'll use anybody as a scapegoat, right? That was how he felt. But they stuck with Riley, and it worked out today. It worked out. It didn't quell the worries for next week, but it worked out. And you got to give them credit where it's due. I thought that was telling a little bit. And it's telling in a good way. I think that's great. I think that we avoided a quarterback controversy for one more week. However, it's still in the back of our heads. But at the same time, I do also feel, and I don't know the inner workings of Notre Dame. I don't know what the building is like. I don't know how all that works. But you do get the sense, and this is just my feeling, that Marcus Freeman hitched his wagon to Riley Leonard. And that's a really, really scary proposition right now. And you could see it. You could feel it. He's scared. He's freaking the fuck out. I said throughout this week that Marcus Freeman's a pissed off head coach, unsatisfied. We got to be better. I misread it. I think he's scared. I think he's horrified right now of what the prospects of this season could potentially be. It could be bad. Could be really, really bad. And he sees that. He feels that. He feels the fact that, shit, I asked for all this money for a quarterback, like $1 million plus, that really ain't working out at all. He looks worse than Sam Hartman by far. And you're just kind of like, Jesus Christ, is this what we put all our eggs in? Like, this is the basket right here? And it is. So we got to ride with it. And it's a really weird spot to be in as a fan. Like, I actually don't even have words. Like, you guys hear me right now. I don't have words for it. I do ultimately think now that the Louisville week, next week, is going to show us who we are. Like, are we good? Or is this just, can we just like kind of stop this? And what this means, I mean, that's a conversation for that week. But, I mean, y'all saw what I saw. It wasn't beautiful. It was far from a pretty product. They got the job done. We all felt the first half, and it felt really, really weird on offense. It was like, yep, no, this is going to be one of them games. We thought it was going to be a Toledo. We thought it was going to be a Marshall. We thought it was going to be an NIU. It ended up being a Central Michigan, if not a little bit better than that. But Miami of Ohio is horrible. They're a horrible team. And I said this going into the game. This is from other people that I listen to. This isn't just my opinion. I'm taking it from them. And I want to give credit where it's due. Their cornerbacks are good. They're long. They're smooth athletes. They're gonna give you some issues there. And it's a good test in that regard. We could have just ran it down their throats today. We saw when you hand the ball off, you're going to pick up 7 to 8 yards. But that's not what they did today. They wanted to try something new. And that sucks because I did put $500 on a parlay today. And one of those things was the over. And that did not hit at all. But you watch it and you're like, this is an offense that's trying to find themselves. And now I really, really have to take Mike Denbrock literally before the season when he said, I don't like what we have right now, but by week 7, I will. And you start to kind of see that. Like you saw against Purdue. Okay, here, let's break it down. You saw against A&M, they did everything that they could to win, and they did. NIU, Purdue, you hit it hard on the ground. Purdue's a man coverage team, and you take advantage of them. You exploit them in that regard. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. Get a hat on a hat. It's just boom, like clockwork. On the ground, they look good. Riley Leonard still didn't have the monkey off its back. Then you have this game where at the beginning it was really hard to watch. And Riley Leonard was close to getting benched. I would not be shocked. I don't know this, but I would not be shocked if he was a drive away from getting benched. And he saved his job today because he started to find his rhythm. He hits his bomb to Bo Collins. And then he starts to show, of course, he starts to continue to show what he can do on the ground. And you're like, okay, well, it's just fragmented right now. It's not come together on offense at all. On defense, it's fine. I'm reading zero into what happened today on defense. I'm not reading anything into it. You got a big test against Louisville. Rise to the fucking occasion. We'll talk about it if it goes bad. But on offense, you are all over the place right now. Louisville, you have to find that balance. You have to find what's working for real against good teams. It's not about like, oh, what do you do to just win the game? I don't think that that's going to be the game plan. I think that you have to find, what do we do well? If I'm Mike Denbrock, I'm like, what do we do well? Okay, counter. We run counter really well. We run quarterback counter really well. We run running back counter really well. We do RPOs pretty well. And when I move Riley Leonard outside of the pocket, to the right or to the left, it goes okay. Then you got to mix in some shots after that. Oh, man, I'm thinking about that RPO that Riley Leonard had to Jaden Thomas, and he just throws it behind him. It's just further proof that Riley Leonard, he's still auditioning for the job, and that's not what we wanted to talk about. Like, we didn't want to have this conversation at week 4. We really shouldn't be having this conversation in week 4. Like, yeah, I don't know if that's a sustainable recipe for success. Like, we shouldn't be having that. And you see Riley Leonard. We all see him. He comes up, shoulder pads up to here. It's weird. It's like not like you don't have like what do a lot of kids say? Aura. Riley Leonard has zero aura. I mean, like, and that might be like exposed next weekend. That might be exposed in a big way. I mean, like, fuck. It's just very frustrating. Like, you would hope that you wouldn't have to have this conversation again. But here we are, same place, same thing, different quarterback. How many quarterbacks have we had since Ian Book? Buckner, Pine, Cone, Hartman, Leonard. 5 different quarterbacks. How many different offensive coordinators have we had in that time? We've had 3. That's not conducive for continuity at all. And you could see that. I mean, look at the difference between the defense and the offense. The defense has had the same defensive coordinator for 3 years. And Marcus Freeman has kind of had his hands in there throughout that, right? Same recruiting process, all that. The standard remains the same. Same secondary coach. You got Max Bola in there. You got Al Washington in. I mean, look, like, there's something to be said for continuity. On offense, that shit is up and down. There is no continuity. And you saw that today. And you think about next week and you get concerned. But then you also sit back and think and you say, that's a really, really big game. Freeman gets his boys ready for big games. Like, it's like that. It's just, what do you make of this team? You don't know. You have no idea. And I get it. This video is a bunch of babble. Because to be completely honest with y'all, I have no idea what this team is. I don't know. I'm going to have to look at the film again to really understand. But I got to tell you, I don't think that the film is going to tell me anything more than I know. I think this team is just I think this team is against a schedule. And that means that you get a and 4 record. That's what I think. And I don't know. Maybe they show me different, but right now I'm not feeling it. I'm not feeling it. I have to come clean. I'm an optimist at heart, but I don't feel that way about this team right now. I feel very weird and unsettled and just like, I don't know. I mean, if they beat NIU, would I feel different? No, I wouldn't. Like, if I was a more inexperienced fan, I would probably feel different about this team. But I've been through this before. I remember the 2012 team. I remember how I felt going into that year. I thought it was a 7-5 team. I really, really did. And sure as shit, they pulled off magic. And they looked really, really bad doing it. And they looked bad in the national championship. And you know what that got us? Embarrassment. Nationally. I look back at the 2018 team that I think was better than this team. And I remember just watching them. I'm like, man, this is the team. This is the one that's going to get it done. And then they get embarrassed against Clemson for reasons that I don't care to get into. They get embarrassed. And you're like, okay. Sure. That was like the best Notre Dame team that we've had. I look back at the 2017 team. And it was like after the 2016 debacle. And you're like, damn, all right. They're showing me something. Like, strong backfield. Good defense. Just all around good. Really elite offensive line. And then it just fell apart. It fell apart. They lose to Georgia, of course, and then they got embarrassed to Miami. Where's our embarrassment going to come? Where's our embarrassment going to come? Because that's what I'm thinking right now. I'm not thinking about how do we get past the first round of playoffs. I'm not thinking about that right now. I'm thinking about when are we going to get embarrassed. That's how that game felt. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I'm negative. That's how I feel. I don't know. I'd be curious to hear your thoughts. I would like to hear you comment. Like, subscribe, comment, share. This channel's catching some steam a little bit. I don't know if you guys know that. Y'all have been responsible for some pretty cool stuff. Maybe this time next year, I'm going to be coming at you with a Blue Chew sponsorship. Pretty cool, huh? But I just, that's what I'm thinking. I'm not thinking about, after this game, I'm not thinking about what can this team do. I'm thinking about when are they going to get embarrassed. So we'll see. More to come tomorrow. More thoughts. More nuanced thoughts. I literally don't have nuanced thoughts right now. I'm just going off of what I saw 3 hours ago, and I just don't know. yeah, I feel like I need to take a shower after that game, and I'm not going to. But I feel like I need to take a shower after that game. Like it was gross. It was weird to watch. Oh, I've got a lot of thoughts to share with you tomorrow. I've already got some stuff that's kind of spinning in my head, but I just I want to make sure that they're well thought out. So hang with me, hang with me. These are just some ramblings before that. This is episode 10, man. I have 25 subscribers right now, and I can't wait to get more. Y'all are amazing. Thank you for listening. Thank you for watching. Sorry if this isn't the insightful conversation that you wanted to have. These are just things that are rattling around in my head, and I bet that they're rattling around in yours too. And I wanted to give you what I got right now. Tomorrow there will be more. There will be more, and maybe we could come away with some conclusions on this team, but I don't think so. So, with that being said, like, subscribe, comment, share, engage. Shamrock Energy, episode 10. We are in the double digits. Imagine what it's going to be. You're gonna wanna hitch up on this wagon here, right? You're gonna want to hitch up on this wagon. Come episode 100, you're gonna be like, man, why was I not sharing, liking, subscribing, commenting? Hook it up. Hook it up. Have some fun with it, right? This is a channel that's in the very beginning of it. I've got shitty lighting. I've got a shitty flag behind me. I'm kind of coming in here half fucking sauce. Come on. Let's have some fun. All right, guys. I love you. We'll talk more tomorrow. Okay? Okay.